This is CBS.
Coming up next on Lafayette Live, 4 local teenagers die in an early morning car accident. Police say a bottle of alcohol was found at the scene, but don't know if it was a factor in the crash. We'll have details. And part-time teachers are taking a more full-time role on college campuses. We'll tell you how that affects Purdue. Those stories plus the workweek forecast are next on Lafayette Live. Stay tuned.
Have your favorite old shoes been really abused? Your old friends been put through stuff you wouldn't do to your worst enemy? It's Kenny's and Hudlow's Shoe Hospital Service to the rescue. Bring those abused shoes to any Kenny's or Hudlow's dry cleaners, and before you know it, they'll be back to you almost as good as new. Reasonable prices, quick turnaround, beautiful shoes again. Kenny's and Hudlow's Shoe Hospital Service.
No, dear.
But, honey, it's our last chance to get those great savings on car loans.
I know. As low as 5.75 APR.
We could qualify for an additional 0.5% off only at PEFQ. Oh, by the way, Mother's coming for dinner.
Come on, Barney. We're headed for PEFQ.
Stunning. Feast your eyes on the elegant lines of the Audi 100S from Mike Razor Imports. Then take a good look at our very attractive lease rate, only $399 per month. One word describes the car and the offer. Stunning. Of course, when you lease an Audi, you also receive these benefits. No charge scheduled maintenance for 3 years or 50,000 miles. Driver and passenger airbags. V6 engine. Front-wheel drive ABS brakes. Stunning automobile, the Audi 100S at Mike Razor Imports.
You're watching WLFI TV18. Now, where Lafayette looks for news in the 90s. This is Lafayette Live TV18 News at 11 with Jill Bauer, Paul Poteet with weather, and Mike Bridges with sports.
Good evening. A group of Lafayette teenagers is dead following an early morning car crash in Tippecanoe County. The accident happened at about 3:30 this morning along State Road 26 West near the intersection of Jackson Highway. Tippecanoe County Police Lieutenant Mark Kirby says it appears the car was traveling very fast and failed to stop at the intersection. Kirby says the car spun out and crashed into a tree. The impact of the crash broke the car in half. Kirby says preliminary investigation indicates 18-year-old Craig Bowers was the driver of the car. The 3 other passengers were 18-year-old Russell Reed, 18-year-old Jerome Hasser, and 18-year-old Travis Crawford. Lieutenant Kirby says the 4 boys all died upon impact of the crash. Kirby says police are still trying to retrace the boys' footsteps last night to better understand why they were out so late. Kirby says a bottle of alcohol was found at the scene, but doesn't know if alcohol was a factor in the deadly crash. Craig Bowers and Travis Crawford were students at Lafayette Jefferson High School. The other 2 boys had been students but were not enrolled in school this year. Principal Dennis Blind says a crisis intervention team will be on campus tomorrow to help students deal with the tragedy. Funeral services have been scheduled for Craig Bowers on Thursday at Grace United Methodist Church. Funeral arrangements for the other 3 boys are still pending. Indiana Senator Richard Lugar talked with Montgomery County constituents about a variety of current events at an annual Republican event today. The senator spoke about a number of issues, including the Clinton health care proposal and the president's newly articulated policy on Somalia. Lugar says he agrees with the president's plan to send more U.S. troops to protect the famine relief forces, but would like to see all the troops out of the region before March 31st, 1994. Lugar also talked about an upcoming trip to New Hampshire and cautioned political watchers not to second-guess his motives.
I've been to New Hampshire on one other occasion in May, and I've indicated that I want to play a role in the leadership of our party in 1996, and New Hampshire is one of the battlegrounds in which that occurs.
However, Lugar would not hint at what those aspirations might be. He stressed he is devoting all his time and energy to his upcoming re-election campaign. In this week's Lafayette's Most Wanted, police are looking for a man whose probation has been revoked. 32-year-old Mark Neal is 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighs 208 pounds, has blue eyes and brown hair. He is a Kentucky native, but police suspect he may be in the Otterburn area. Neal had been on probation for leaving the scene of an accident. If you have any information about Mark Neal, call the Lafayette Police Department at 742-4045 and refer to case number 93-90. Part-time instructors make up more than 1/3 of the higher education faculty in the United States. As Hillary Wakay reports, one Purdue administrator spent 7 months talking with faculty all over the country about the issue.
Faced with continuing budget cuts and shifting enrollment, colleges and universities are relying heavily on part-time academics, a workforce that is flexible, well-qualified, and cheap. Purdue's Vice President of Human Relations studied the trend and co-authored a book on the topic. Judith Gappa says part-timers can be a positive addition if planned for.
Students are choosing different majors, going in different directions. They're driven by the job, what's available in jobs. And so the needs for high-quality people in teaching change rapidly. It's not only fiscally driven. There are a whole lot of good educational reasons why institutions need to have this kind of flexibility.
Part-timers are more common at community colleges or satellite campuses. For example, here at Purdue's West Lafayette campus, more than 87% of the faculty are full-time. But the ratio changes dramatically at Purdue's regional campuses. Part-timers make up more than 60% of both the Fort Wayne and North Central campuses. In her book, The Invisible Faculty, Gappa notes part-timers are not only increasing in numbers, they're increasing in anger. Many feel they're being taken advantage of. Visiting English instructor Barbara Dixon at Purdue notes that part-time clerical help get health benefits, but part-time faculty do not.
Is a matter of equality. I think that the part-time people at Purdue need to organize a little bit and determine what requirements they have. One of those, at least in my opinion, would be health benefits and retirement benefits.
Purdue does have a chapter of the American Federation of Teachers, a union that does not act as a bargaining agent. It's small, only about 40 members, but Dixon says if the reliance on part-timers is the wave of the future, the faculty may soon come to rely on unions for fair treatment. Hillary Wakay, TV18 News.
Still to come on Lafayette Live, we'll tell you why what defines sexual harassment may soon change. And more U.S. troops arrive in Somalia despite reports of a ceasefire.
You deserve great features in a Gordon Thomas suit from Dell Brothers. You've come to expect them. Premier tailoring and detail. Timeless style. All-American fashion. Pure wool. The all-year-round fabric designed with quality and comfort in mind. And backed with the Gordon Thomas 2-year satisfaction guarantee. Expect great things. The Gordon Thomas Wool Blend Suit from Dell Brothers. All wool, all yours. Just $269.
Your teenager could be in trouble. Here are some warning signs. Suddenly fails at school. Destroys property. Uses alcohol or other drugs. Withdraws from family and friends. Becomes physically violent. Runs away from home. Talks about or attempts suicide. If you're worried about your teen, call Charter Hospital of Lafayette at 1-800-CHARTER. If you don't get help at Charter, please get help somewhere.
At the start of the day, that shirt you washed at home probably looks good with that suit jacket you had cleaned professionally. But how is that shirt you washed yourself going to stand up to a long, tough day at the office? Next time, don't wash your own shirt. Have it done right at your nearest Kinney's or Hudlo's, where for just $1 and change, you can look like $1 million. Kinney's and Hudlo's Shirt Laundry Service.
We do it for less. Kinney's and Hudlo's.
Every need, woman, man, or child. I ain't bragging. It's a brand new day. It took a lot to reach the top, and now we're here to stay. I'm every woman. That's how I feel. Every woman. It's about to be real.
Portions of Lafayette Live are sponsored by Bob Rohrman Auto Dealerships.
More U.S. troops rolled into Somalia today equipped with laser-guided bombs, tanks, and fighter jets. Meanwhile, thousands of Somalis demonstrated in support of fugitive warlord Mohammed Farah Aidid 1 day after the outlaw reportedly requested a ceasefire. Aidan Hartley reports from Mogadishu.
Several thousand people turned out in the dusty streets of South Mogadishu today. They were supporters of Mohammed Farah Aidid, the warlord who has been fighting against the United Nations for the last 4 months. They were demonstrating in favor of the peace proposal that he announced over his clandestine radio last night, in which he said that he would be prepared to stop fighting the UN if they stopped killing Somalis. He also said that he would be prepared to look into the June 5th massacre of Pakistani troops to see who was responsible. The crowds held aloft placards announcing Aidid as the father of peace. But in this stick and carrot operation down at the United Nations-controlled airport, American soldiers were landing in massive C-5 transport planes, disgorging troops and equipment and further armor ordered in by President Clinton last week after up to 17 American soldiers were killed in one of the bloodiest firefights that this guerrilla war has seen. This is Aidan Hartley for CBS News, reporting from Mogadishu.
The definition of sexual harassment could change this week. A case is set to go before the U.S. Supreme Court that could narrow what constitutes sexual harassment. The case involves a Tennessee woman who says she endured demeaning and suggestive comments from her boss for 2 years. The question is whether suggestive remarks by a boss must go beyond mere offensiveness and cause psychological damage in order to be considered sexual harassment. 3 federal appeals courts ruled suggestive comments must be psychologically damaging to be called harassment. 3 other appeals courts ruled the comment need only be offensive in order to justify payment of damages. The U.S. Supreme Court hears the case on Wednesday. Well, hopefully you're going to be looking into the forecast and we're going to have lots of sunshine.
We will have lots of sunshine. We won't have a lot of mercury in that thermometer. We'll give you the chilly details next.
And coming up later, we'll have a Feast of the Hunter's Moon sampler as the annual event comes to a close.
Good morning, Wendy's. Monterey Ranch chicken sandwich. You wanted that?
Hi, Gladys.
The phone's been ringing off the hook.
What's this? Monterey Ranch. Monterey Ranch, Monterey Ranch, Monterey.
I'm sorry I asked. We got the hint, so it's back. Creamy ranch dressing with real bacon and Monterey Jack cheese on a whole breast filet.
Where you going, buddy?
Inside, I'm Dave Thomas.
Right, and I'm the Queen of France. Back of the line.
Come try Wendy's Monterey Ranch chicken sandwich, but come early.
Have you seen all the ads in the newspaper and on television for new replacement windows? Are you getting people calling you on the phone wanting to sell you new windows? Do you need new windows? Do you know what new windows should cost? How would you like to buy your replacement windows or storm windows from a local, well-established business that's been around for more than 45 years? I'm Dennis Clark, president of Lafayette Glass Company, 2841 Teal Road. When you need new windows or doors, think of Lafayette Glass. You'll be glad you did.
This Boilermaker moment is brought to you by Lafayette Glass. Keena Turner was recognized as a leader of Purdue's junk defense in the late 70s under Coach Jim Young. He was an All-Big Ten selection at defensive end and the leader of the Purdue defense that was among the nation's best in '78. And the Boilers won the Peach Bowl. He captained the team his senior year, and Keena helped Purdue to a record 10 wins and a Bluebonnet Bowl title before going on to a stellar career with the San Francisco 49ers.
Monday, a raging river sweeps dozens of youngsters off a Texas road.
I was thinking, I'm gonna die.
Hear the personal stories that inspired a TV movie on Inside Edition Monday. And on Inside Edition weekend, Laurel was dating a coworker when her boss called.
She said, you know, I'm going to have to fire you for dating.
Fired for dating?
Yes.
Should your personal life be your employer's business? Watch Inside Edition Weekend.
Inside Edition Weekend, Sunday at 12:15 on TV18.
Well, 2 days ago we were wearing shorts, and then yesterday we had to bundle up in wool and flannel. So what do we need to do for tomorrow to start the work week off?
Evacuate. Just get out of town. No, actually, things aren't going to change very much. It's going to get a few degrees warmer, but it is funny. I mean, we're sitting here at 6 o'clock on Friday night with 76 degrees. And
I had my air conditioner cranked up on Friday. I really did. And then yesterday I had to crank the heater up. What a difference.
Too hot, too cold, and probably too cold for you tonight if you're heading outside. As a matter of fact, the Weather Service, when I checked in about an hour ago, said that in some spots they're picking up scattered frost already on tops of cars. So stay away from the tops of cars right now if you're outside. It's already hitting out there, and we expect to see some more frost again tonight. There's a frost advisory for our neck of the woods and a freeze advisory down in southern Indiana. Frost advisory. We'll show you the chilly temps in just a few moments. Take you outside right now. We're back to the feast again. And yes, it was feast or famine on Saturday. From what I understand from some of our photographers out there, I saw the boots they were wearing. They were deep in it. And normally that's my job here. So they crossed over too. And 52 was the high out there today. And it was a much nicer looking day if you went out to Fort Ouiatenon. But again, chilly. That sunshine always helps, though, this time of year. We almost made it down to freezing last night. That's about where we'll park it this evening. And the normal high and low, 68 and 45. The record high, 88. The record low, 24. And at this hour, we're already well on our way. It's down to 37s. It's a little cooler, a little quicker tonight than it was last night. The wind is calm, and so everything is set up in the typical frost pattern for favorable conditions for developing that. Barometer is steady at the moment, and it's pretty high at 30.22. Here's the sunrise sunset for tomorrow. It's up at 6:54 and sets at 6:14. And our TV18 viewing area temperatures tonight are anywhere right around the upper 30s to low 40s. It's already down to the upper 30s in Monticello, Logansport at 38. Seville is down to 38 at this hour, too, so it's very chilly already. And we take a look at the rest of the state, 42 in Indianapolis, 37 already in Fort Wayne, down to 39 in South Bend. It's still 48 in St. Louis. They also have a few clouds in association with a system that's farther off to the south and to the west. That's showing up on our radar and satellite composite tonight. A sort of a weaker low-pressure disturbance of the storm that we had moved through yesterday was much stronger. Here's what is left of it today along the east coast. But a lot of cold air is left behind. Look how far the 30s go tonight, all the way down to eastern Tennessee, almost into Georgia. They will be getting freezing temperatures all the way back into the plains. Highs tomorrow will start to rebound a little bit better. We see the 60s just making into our area and a little punch of warmer air coming in from the southwest. But Fort Wayne set a record low this morning at 29, and even back into Texas, Amarillo, into the 30s last night. Kansas City down to a record low of 30 degrees. Tonight, that low pressure centered right in the middle of Nebraska. We'll see this kind of move to the south tomorrow. This is the map for tomorrow evening. Follow it over to the southeast, and maybe just in Indiana, some rain tomorrow for us. A few more clouds than we had today, but the temperatures won't change much. Here's the forecast for tonight. A frost advisory again. We're going to see some scattered frost out there when you wake up and go back to work or school tomorrow morning. Tonight's low right at 32, and then tomorrow, a few more clouds than there were today, and a few more degrees on the old scoreboard with a high of 60. And tomorrow night, not as cool, and we settle into pretty much the same temperature pattern the rest of the week with our next chance of showers coming on Thursday and Friday. But another frosty start to Monday morning, which is only, what, 20 minutes away. So
a lot closer than we think.
Yeah, it's closer than you think.
Thank you, Paul. Well, it doesn't seem like we've been into football season very long, and now we have even some basketball to talk about already.
Well, the Pacers, you know, are over at Mackey Arena, so we'll check in, see what they're up to. Some good baseball tonight, as well as the Colts hosting the world champions. I'll have all that after this.
Oh, great king of the jungle, who's the best of the car dealers?
Please tell us.
When it comes to automobiles, there's only one, Bob Royman.
The 93s are going once, going twice, sold to the smart car buyers at year-end prices. The 94s are coming, and all remaining 93s must go whatever it takes. Hondas, Toyotas, Lincolns, Mercurys, Subarus, Jeeps, Eagles, Hyundais, Mitsubishis. The 93s are going, gone!
On October 15th,
We don't.
it's a brand new start
I ain't going nowhere.
in a brand new town.
Hey, cut us off. That's real nice. This here's what I carry.
Now, Beverly Hills isn't changing the Clampetts, but they're sure changing Beverly Hills.
There's a fresh kill in the road.
Roadkill stew sounds mighty good right now.
The Beverly Hillbillies.
I'm sure there's enough for us all.
Rated PG. Starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
Life can be so hectic. Between picking up the children and fixing dinner, you still try to find time to stay up on the issues that affect you. You don't have time to shop around for a news source or turn to several different sources for your news. That's why we bring you Lafayette Live, delivering 4 complete newscasts a day. We don't just tease you with brief information. We give you the full story. Our job is to show you the events that have an impact on your life. Your most consistent news source. Lafayette Live, TV18 News.
In the winter, it is very cold. Some kids don't have coats to keep them warm. Kids right here in Lafayette, that's why there's Kids for Kids.
You can help by dropping off your kid's old coat at any Kinney's and Hudlow's dry cleaning location, and you'll receive a certificate for a hamburger meal from Burger King. Coats are then cleaned and distributed to children who need them for this winter.
Give a kid a warm hug and a big smile with a winter coat.
Made possible by the generosity of these caring local sponsors.
Look, there he is.
Rush Limbaugh, shaking up America.
What a great set of ideas.
Rush Limbaugh, late nights on TV18.
The Dallas Cowboys made their first ever trip to the Hoosier Dome, and the Indianapolis Colts were gracious hosts, committing 5 turnovers as the Cowboys won it 27-3. Clayton Duffy has more from Indy.
The Dallas Cowboys rolled into the Hoosier Dome and took advantage of 4 Colt turnovers in the first half. After a 1-yard TD catch by Darrell Johnston made it 7-0, Emmitt Smith, who raced for 104 yards on the day, racked up 20 on this touchdown run, and it was 14-0 Dallas. Down by 2 touchdowns in the second quarter, the Colts were dealt a serious blow on defense when Steve Entman tore ligaments in his right knee and is out for the season.
He's done an excellent job ever since he's been here. He's one of our leaders from the work ethic standpoint, and but we've got to go on. It's one of those things that naturally will hurt us, but we have to go on.
The Colts rolled up more total yards than Dallas in the first half, but had only a 27-yard Dean Biasucci field goal to show for it. In the third quarter, the Cowboys had a different idea about field goal attempts. Jay Novacek takes a snap and goes in from 2 yards out, and it's 21-3 Dallas. Eddie Murray provided all the scoring in the fourth quarter with 2 field goals as the Cowboys won 27-3.
I think that if we go out each week and continue to improve, that we'll be able to make it into the playoffs, and once we do that, hopefully we'll be peaking at the right time.
The Colts now have a week off to try and figure out which quarterback will lead this team and how they can get the ball in the end zone. The only bright spot for the day was rookie Roosevelt Potts, who rushed for 113 yards. At the Hoosier Dome, Clayton Duffy, TV18 Sports.
In Philadelphia, the Eagles hosted the Bears. Bubby Brister, playing for Randall Cunningham, had a tough day, threw a couple of interceptions, this one to Richard Dent. He was also sacked 6 times. Jim Harbaugh goes way downfield, 32 yards to Curtis Conway, his first touchdown in the NFL, and the Bears win it 17-6, no problem. In Washington, here's what it looks like if you're trying to get into the end zone. Lewis Tillman just gets in past the diving Carl Banks. The Giants handed the Redskins a huge defeat, 41-7. Dave Meggett goes up top of the halfback pass to Mike Sherrard. The Giants big, 41-7. On the scoreboard, Minnesota shuts out Tampa Bay 15-0. That 41-7 loss was the worst loss the Redskins have had at home in 45 years. New England over Phoenix, and that's the Pats' first win of the season. In Los Angeles, the Jets and the Raiders. Jeff Hostetler was pretty ineffective in the game. He scrambles, then tries to throw at Brian Washington, the safety, picks it off. He'll go 62 yards for the touchdown, and seemingly the Jets are in control, 17-0. 38-year-old Vince Evans replaced Hostetler. He threw for 247 yards. He gets this one to James Jett, and the Raiders come all the way back from 17-0 to win it 24-20. Dan Marino tore his Achilles tendon, and he is out for the year as Miami beat Cleveland 24-14. Kansas City by 2 over Cincinnati. Pittsburgh 16-3 winners over San Diego. Green Bay's now 2-3. They get past Denver 30-27. Houston and Buffalo will be on Monday night. Well, in college football, the Big Ten is beginning to take over the Associated Press Top 25. A few of the teams in the top 10 switch places. Here's a look. Florida State, no doubt about it, they're still number 1. They beat number 3 Miami this week. Notre Dame moves up, and everybody moves up 1. Ohio State's at number 5. Penn State's at number 7. Miami fell 5 places down to number 8. Number 9's Oklahoma. Wisconsin moved up 5 places. They're now at 16. Michigan fell down 9 after losing to Michigan State, and that pushed Michigan State up to number 25. And Indiana's the second team waiting outside the top 25. Well, Game 4 of the National League Championship Series was very different than the last 2 games. This one was a pitcher's duel. John Smolch pitched a great game. He was 5-0 in the postseason, but in the fourth he gave up 2 unearned runs. Danny Jackson singles home Milt Thompson. It's 2-1 Phillies. Jackson only had 2 RBIs all year. Smolch struck out 10 in the game, but he left still trailing by 1. Jackson pitched equally as brilliant, only giving up the 1 run. In the 8th inning, he turned the game over to Mitch Williams, who got great defense with 2 runners on. Mark Lemke looks like he's going to go to the wall, but Milt Thompson makes the great jumping catch. Then in the 9th, 2 more Braves are on, and Ron Gant hits into the 4-3 double play. Mickey Morandini takes it himself, and Philadelphia wins it 2-1 to tie up the series at 2. The ALCS Game 5 in Toronto, Canada, and all top 3 of those reasons is why the Sox lost it. John Olerud in the 3rd inning, single, scoring Roberto Alomar. Toronto's up 3-0. They eventually led 4-0. Blackjack McDowell was out after 2 1/3. Here's Roberto Alomar. He scores Devon White, and it's 4-0 Toronto. Ellis Burks gets a home run in the 5th, the first hit of the game for Chicago, 4-1. Robin Ventura in the 9th hit a 2-run homer, so it's 5-3. Dwayne Ward comes on, and he Ks Bo Jackson for the final out. Toronto wins it 5-3 to take a 3-2 lead. This is the first game that's been won at home in the series.
And you win 2 out of 3, I think you're happy. You know, I mean, I think there are a lot of people sitting out there, probably a lot of people in Chicago, that didn't think we'd get back to play a game. Now, you know what it boils down to. We're down, what we want it to get to is a 1-game playoff.
Well, the Pacers continue to work out at Mackey Arena. Indiana only has 22 days to prepare for the upcoming season. So far, the team has gone through 3 two-a-day workouts. Larry Brown has the Pacers working very hard. The team has been hampered by the ankle sprain of Reggie Miller. He hasn't had a chance to practice, but he should be back in a couple of weeks. All in all, Coach Brown likes what he sees of the gang.
Each day I see the young guys getting better, and the veterans, you know, they just made camp real good because of their attitude. Detlef's had a great camp. Sam Mitchell's had a great camp.
Well, Phoenix Suns star Charles Barkley is resting in his hotel room after collapsing at the team's training camp yesterday. Barkley was running wind sprints when he collapsed and remained on the floor for more than 30 minutes. Barkley couldn't move his legs or raise his feet. The problem is associated with a disc problem in Barkley's back. He was treated for a bulging disc in August. Needless to say, the whole incident scared Sir Charles to death, but the problem can be treated with rest, and tests say he's okay today, but he just needs to cut down on his workouts. And one other thing on the Pacers, there's rumored to trade Sean Green. We'll keep an eye on that. That might happen tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Mike. We'll be back right after this.
Now when you buy a Subway steak and cheese sub with a medium soft drink, you can get a regular 6-inch sub for 99 cents. Just a penny less to the bar. Well, at least they get a meal on this flight.
Why do you think Ford F-Series outsells every other truck? Toughness, double-wall steel, the biggest pickup box. This is no sissy truck. Then there's quality. Ford's rated best built year after year. Durability, there are more F-Series still on the road than any other. Period. Why buy now? Because you can save over $1,000. Any other questions? See your Indiana Ford dealer now. We're #1 in America, and we plan to stay that way.
Will you have to lose your job or hit your child?
I just want a drink of water.
It doesn't have to come to this.
What you doing? I'm sorry.
If you think you may have a problem with drinking, you probably do.
Get out! Get out!
Do you try to stop drinking but can't? Lie about drinking? Suffer memory loss? Lose control? If you have a problem with alcohol, call Charter Hospital of Lafayette at 1-800-CHARTER. If you don't get help at Charter, please get help somewhere.
Life can be so hectic. Between picking up the children and fixing dinner, you still try to find time to stay up on the issues that affect you. You don't have time to shop around for a news source or turn to several different sources for your news. That's why we bring you Lafayette Live, delivering 4 complete newscasts a day. We don't just tease you with brief information. We give you the full story. Our job is to show you the events that have an impact in your life. Your most consistent news source, Lafayette Live, TV18 News.
I'm a wheel watcher. I'm a wheel watcher. Where is America's day?
weeknights at 7 on TV18.
The Indiana Veterans Home is a little richer in more ways than one, thanks to veterans of foreign wars post members from throughout the state. Members brought checks totaling about $5,000 today. VFW Ladies Auxiliaries helped during fundraisers all year to raise the donations.
Oh, yes. When you do something for them up here, it's just like handing them $1 million because they are well pleased and appreciate it very, very much. We care about the veterans, that's for sure.
Every year during VFW State Day, members also enjoy visiting with some of the 500 residents at the home. Activities today included a small parade and color guard. And that wraps up the weekend edition of Lafayette Live. We're going to leave you tonight with some of the final scenes at the 26th Annual Feast of the Hunter's Moon. Have a great week, and we'll see you back here next weekend. Good night.
Yeah.